Hey guys, this is going to be another kind of rambly discussion video talking about the eShop because it's closing and I got a lot to talk about with it. And this is going to be a tips and tricks and everything you need to know before the eShop closes and what games you should buy and what kind of SD cards you should buy and, you know, just everything you need to know on how to make sure your content is forever available, right? You want to make sure you have as much of the content as possible. I mean, you got to archive it. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you what games you should get, what the most fun games to buy is, how much it's going to cost you, how to save a little money maybe get some things on sale. But, you know, it's important for us Nintendo fans to band together to make sure the Nintendo police are gone, right? Yeah, okay, they're gone. And I've hooked the idiot Nintendo fans, right? All right, so I have some actual advice for you. Just software mod your systems. That's it. Software modding your systems gives you the freedom to take preservation of your content into your own hands. Whether you want to buy the games now or use the countless efforts people have made to back this stuff up, that is irrelevant without a conversation about making sure you're not trapped within Nintendo's hellish firmware. There is a really bad stigma surrounding the 3DS and Wii U modding, some meme that kind of dismisses anyone recommending the process, painting them in this annoying and repetitive light, which might be true sometimes, but the alternative is inarguably more annoying. I'd much rather spread the word of these modding methods, opposed to them just being ignored in fear of Nintendo's big legal hammer. The biggest thing to consider is that Nintendo gives its consumers no legal way to back up their games and data. You can stick those suckers on an SD card, but those files are encrypted and impossible to back up unless you have your original system. If something happens to your system, or even its memory alone, you're toast. All of that data is for nothing, unless you resort to illegal quote-unquote methods. It's super easy to access those encrypted files with a hacked system and even back them up in a way where you can re-download them, emulate them, do whatever you want with them, honestly. I truly believe that freedom should be yours to do. There's a lot of ethics to open source software and how much freedom a consumer should have, but I fall into a consumer should at least have the freedom to back up and use their files how they see fit. They've already purchased them. If they want to give them to a friend or post them online, that's their decision. A company can obviously get at you for posting them online, but limiting that decision to a company's hands feels kind of gross and controlling. Something I buy should be mine. Pretty simple. With DRM and encrypted files, it just feels like I'm renting from these companies. Point is, your 3DS is your 3DS, and you should have the freedom to do whatever you want with it, especially after Nintendo has basically abandoned it. And by that same logic, yes, you can obviously choose not to hack your system, maybe due to the ethics you believe or the fear of risks with it, but there are inherent risks to keeping your system unmodded, you know, and I believe it's extremely dismissive not to make software modding part of the conversation when it comes to the eShop closing. The scramble and FOMO is because of Nintendo's inability to archive its software for its consumers. Obviously, the methods that involve actually archiving this software should be brought up and celebrated. There are about 7 million guides out there for hacking these systems, and I know it's a meme, but it truly is stupid easy. If you don't feel comfortable, have a friend help you or hire someone to do it. I do genuinely believe it's important though. As a crazy Nintendo fangirl/boy myself, it's arguably more important than sucking this company's dick, trust me. And of course, there's the conversation of piracy. Now, where you line up with this comes down to borderline like politics. So if you are against piracy, that's totally fine. But I do want everyone to consider something. There won't be a legal way to get this software soon. It's the equivalent to someone dumpster diving behind a McDonald's for a day-old cheeseburger and Ronald McDonald coming out with his lawyers. Nintendo closing these shops is basically them saying, we don't support this content anymore. To me, that sounds like this moral lift off anyone's shoulders. Nintendo doesn't care about the profit they could be making on this content, so why should you? Obviously, that's a really simple way of thinking about it, and Ronald's reasoning for suing you could be eating a burger from the trash means less burgers you're eating at our current restaurant, which is grossly corporate and I don't like it. The main takeaway I want from this video is that the best tip and trick you can do in regards to the eShop closing is giving yourself the freedom to not have to worry about these big companies' decisions, because the only reason you need a tip or trick on what to do is because Nintendo doesn't care about their archived software or whether or not its consumers can get them anymore. I know this is a little shorter than usual, but I really did want to talk about this before the eShop closes. Video game preservation is extremely important, and I know even people shilling Nintendo inadvertently have good intentions. I just feel it's a waste of time to talk about ways to enjoy the eShop before it closes without mentioning such an important part of the conversation, arguably the most important part about the conversation. And letting big companies like Nintendo push its consumers around is really manipulative in so many ways, and is only making these pieces of art less accessible. But I would love to hear your opinions on this topic, but please keep it civil. I don't need a mess in the comments.